Welcome to Context Africa. Welcome to Context Africa. This is a show where we pull back the curtains on all the major happenings, issues that relate to the African continent. My name is Moses Desiree. I'm an African citizen that's living in Ghana, and I'm a very, very staunch advocate for the Pan African agenda. Now, this is a show that's being brought to you by the Africa Agenda, a media company that is committed to shaping Pan African narratives and using the media to drum home the message of Pan African ideals and the borderless Africa agenda. Now, in today's discussion, we're going to be discussing a very, very controversial policy. We understand that the conversation about entry into countries and how much countries should charge, extra, has been raging for some time now. And recently, the government introduced a visa on arrival policy. The policy was intended to allow people who want to enter the country and probably can't find Ghanaian embassies or don't want to struggle to go to Ghanaian embassies to secure visas, and they come into the country and have the luxury of getting a visa on arrival. But the challenge here is that it costs initially cost $150, now it costs $200, and there have been conversations about whether this policy is in line with the Pan African agenda. Ghana is a gateway to Africa, and if we are charging such an amount for people to enter the country, does it defeat the purpose of being positioned as a beacon of Pan Africanism, or as a revenue generating mechanism that must be embraced? This is Contest Africa. When we come back, I have a guest and we'll delve right into the conversation. Stick and stay. Welcome to Context Africa. Welcome back to Context Africa. Here we're going to be discussing issues that relate to the African continent and providing context that will help you make informed decisions. Now, I promised you a very interesting conversation, and I have a very wise gentleman, a very intelligent, fine gentleman who goes by the name Nana Yeboah. He's a student and also someone who is enthused about politics, law, governance, and anything that has to do with leadership. Nana, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
How you doing? How's the week been for you?
Well, it's been a great week. It's been a great week. And I'm happy to be here.
Okay. So let me welcome you once again. Now, you already know the topic at hand. We are aware that currently for African nationals, with the exception of ECOWAS visa passport holders, African nationals that come into the country have to pay $200 to receive visas on arrival. And we all are aware of the agenda to position Ghana as a beacon of Pan Africanism. Now, the first question I would have for you is, when you came across this policy, what were your initial thoughts? What do you think about it generally before we enter the specifics?
Okay. So, Ghana is this country which is seen mostly among the African nationals and also the diaspora as the beacon of Pan Africanism. So, Ghana having this $200 visa on arrival fee. Myself, when I saw it, the first question that came to mind is, does this align with our vision of Pan Africanism? And I think when we delve into the conversation, we would really understand
Okay,
whether
okay.
it
So,
aligns with it.
so there's a certain school of thought that it is a revenue generating mechanism for the nation. And we know the revenue shortfalls the country has been experiencing in certain quarters. And this is one of the ways we can raise revenue. But from where you sit, do you think it's prudent to be charging $200 for from African nationals entering this country?
Okay, so initially it was
Yeah.
$150. I think last 2 years, yeah, from my research, and recently it has been changed to $200. I think for the revenue making mechanism, we would have multiple ways that we can generate revenue, and this not actually geared towards only the African nationals, but also tourists in general.
Yeah.
Yes, so I think that to generate revenue, and recently Ghana has been positioning itself to be the to be a tourist center, to be a very attractive place for tourists to enter. Yeah, so I think we having a $200 dollars visa on arrival fee defeats our position to become the tourist center for the world or Africa.
Okay. Okay. Great. But so when you've just mentioned that travelers and tourists come into this country all the time. Now let's look at the demographics. How do you think this is going to affect, for example, students, entrepreneurs, creators from other African dispensations who intend to come into the country? This policy specifically, how do you think it's going to affect them?
So for actually, it's well, it's going to affect the Western nations, but it's going to affect African nationals the most because we sitting here, for instance, how much is $200 in Ghana cedis?
Give or take, that's like 2,300.
So do you think students in Africa can just use $2,000 is actually some people's fees in some countries.
Yeah, $200.
Some even people can use it to buy cars and in other countries I don't know the factually, but in Africa you can. So I think you charging African national $200 is a very hefty price. Yeah. So we can do something about it. We have to change this whole thing. Yeah, to attract a lot of people into our country. And I think this policy also slows innovation
Okay, okay.
because
Shed light
African
on it.
African nationals who would, for instance, these young entrepreneurs, they can't come into Ghana because imagine you having to pay a $200 visa on arrival before you even come and do your normal business. Would you enter the country?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that when we lessen this burden on the African national, I think it would cre- um create the opportunity and also enhance other people to actually come to Ghana. And also one thing I want to talk about is um there is also this thing that it causes. It causes deterrence and disappointment. And that creates a very bad image for Ghana
Yeah.
in the Pan African world. Because Ghana, for instance, on the 1st January 2025, we announced to the whole world that we are going to be visa free for the whole of African nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have to amend our internal policies to
To
fit
reflect.
this policy because if an African national hears this, they'll be like, praise God, because Ghana is now
And they
visa
get
free.
here and then
Yes. So when you get here and you see that there is actually a $200 visa fee on arrival, I think people will be disappointed
yeah,
and people will feel like Ghana has lied to them.
yeah.
Ghana has caused them a lot, and I think it's bad. So we have to do something about it.
Great. So there's also another school of thought. Some people say that if you are not in a position to pay the $200 visa on arrival fee, then you should just get your visa before coming, because it's a special arrangement for. It's not the norm. It's a special arrangement for people who are unable to get their visas at the Ghanaian embassies or do not have the luxury of time or the opportunity to go there. So when they come here, they pay for that. Do you think, in light of that argument, this policy should still remain?
Okay, so I think I would partly agree with those people, but I don't agree with them entirely.
Okay.
That yes, it's true that this policy it's kind of an express. We do this policy applies to people who don't have the Ghanaian mission in their countries
Yeah.
and consulates, and also people who are in a haste to maybe do business. It's an emergency
Yeah.
and they have to be in Ghana
Yeah.
at all costs. Yeah, so when I checked for the price of the visa fee for people who can do it in their country, it was around $60, and I think yeah, less than $100. So that one is way cheaper, and you can do that. But if a person have to do business on Express, I think paying for $200 it's still expensive for these people. Yeah, and it would prevent people from coming to Ghana to bring innovative ideas to also collaborate with Ghanaian nationals for development.
Okay. Let's stay on the numbers game, the conversation about the economic benefits will be generating from such a policy. from where you sit, do you think eradicating the policy would bring in far greater economic returns than keeping it?
Yeah, yeah.
Why,
Y-
why do you think so?
So Ghana, we want people to actually visit us. We want people from the west, the east, the north, and the south to visit Ghana to experience our a vibrant culture, to experience our people, to have a feel of Ghana, how authentic we are, and everything about it because our country is truly special.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we having this visa fee on arrival defeats that purpose because I would cite Rwanda as an example. You see, right now, whenever you go to any place
Yeah.
or even on social media, it would pop up, visit Rwanda.
Yeah.
And what did they do? They made policies which align to that. Rwanda, for instance, has signed the African Free Movement Protocol. Yes, they have signed it and also ratified it at the same time. And what they do in their what internal policies
Do they have
did
to
they
reflect that?
amend to reflect that thing? When you go to Rwanda, they have a very low visa on arrival fee as compared to Ghana.
Yeah.
Actually. So because of that, many
It's a
African
huge
nationals
influx
and
of.
also people from everywhere around the world visit that country. So there is this thing of volume over
Overpriced.
prices.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when a lot of people enter the country and there is a low visa fee, I think people would enter the country that you would even get much money from the normal visa fee than um actually charging people hefty fees before they can enter the country. And also when these people enter the country, we can do this have these tourist taxes and tourist levies that maybe charges tourists maybe um 2% or 5% of maybe their just charge some taxes. I think there is a lot into it, but
Yeah.
yeah, so the government can look into that. So we can have this kind of levies. So when as people spend, they would be paying these levies. And I think it wouldn't hurt much.
Yeah.
So this one wouldn't prevent the people from entering Ghana. They would rather enter Ghana before they tend to experience this. And also, there is one thing that the government can do to generate income.
Yeah. But
I
before you go into that, because it was part of the questions I wanted to ask you.
really okay.
What advice do you have for the government? I want us to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, and then we'll delve into. We're still on the conversation of the $200 visa on arrival fee policy that has been instituted by the government, and there are a lot of conversations about it. And has done his best to do an exposition on why he believes it is irrelevant and needless, and eradicating it would have a greater potential for the nation than keeping it. We're taking a short commercial break. When we come back, the conversation continues. This is still Context Africa. Welcome to Context Africa. Brothers and sisters, you're still watching Context Africa, and this is the show that is dedicated to discussing the issues that matter on the African continent. So, Nana, you were speaking about what you think government should do about the policy. What if you were in a policy advisory capacity? What what advice would you give to the government concerning this policy, and what should be the directional framework for something like this?
So the first thing, as I said, is the volume of our prices. The government should lower the price of the visa fee on arrival to allow a lot of people to enter into the country so that we can tax them rather so to be in Ghana while they are spending on all those things. And also we can also charge for extension of visa fee.
Yeah,
Imagine if a person is going to pay a hefty sum to enter into Ghana, and because of that, that person didn't enter Ghana. Wouldn't it be better that that person rather enters Ghana and experience our culture? When this person
makes a
experience our
decision that they want to stay.
yes, they can rather pay the $100, the $50, the $60 to extend their visa
Yeah, yeah,
plan. Yeah. So when this kind of thing is done, wouldn't don't you think it would generate much
yeah.
income?
That's a great point.
Yeah, and also the government too can collaborate with the tech startups in Ghana, and these startups, I think they can create these apps that um link tourists in Ghana to these tourist attractions. Um, they link them to events that are
Yeah.
happening all around Ghana. And I think when these people come, they'll just enjoy Ghana to the extent that every time those apps would be showing them where the next event is, where what's happening in
I think
Ghana.
a couple of apps like that. I don't want to give
Oh,
props to those apps, but
oh, okay.
they've not paid me. But I think there's an app called Zomo. It's a Ghanaian
Oh,
owned app,
okay.
Zomo. It's yeah. Please,
Oh,
I'm doing free ads for you. So I'll send my invoice. But Zomo is an app that's so if you are coming in for the December events, that is the app you should be using. Gives you all the lowdown on where the next event is happening, all the events, etc.
oh,
That yeah,
really?
Zomo. You
Oh,
should take about
okay.
you should check it out.
So
Zomo.
I think they can partner with this the government itself can partner with these companies, and they can generate income from them and also be generating income from the tourists. So I think this one of the best ways that the government can generate income. Yeah. And I would state it again, Rwanda has done it and it has worked for them. Yes, and right now they're raking millions of dollars
From
from
tourism.
tourism.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ghana can do the same. Ghana can do the same. Myself, we are basically centered on the African nationals, but it goes far to
Beyond
affect
that.
to affect other nationals, because when we talk about African nationals, we should be mindful that the Pan African agenda is not only
For
geared
Africans
towards
living on the
African
continent. Yeah.
nationals who are living on the continent. We have people in the Caribbean. We have the diaspora who sometimes happen to be African Americans. And those people too would love to come to Ghana.
Yeah.
So the visa on arrival fee, when we do something about it, when we reduce it, I think it's going to bring a lot of benefits in Ghana. But as you are doing that, we have to be innovative on how we can really generate income,
Yeah.
generate revenue as
Without defeating the purpose of yeah.
yeah.
Great. Great. I think my last question was centered on how you intend to assess the foreign affairs minister so far concerning his dealings as foreign affairs minister. I'm sure you've been following
Oh,
keenly. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate him?
myself, I think I would rate him a 9.
Okay.
I wouldn't give him the other one because we expect more from him. And I think he's really working. He's really working. And his goals and agenda, I think they align with the Pan African agenda.
Yeah.
Because recently it's during though that policy was done during the past administration, the free visa
Yeah. Yeah.
for all African
Yeah.
nationals. Yeah, but they are also putting
Trying their best
measures,
to implement it.
yeah, in place to do that. And I think also when President Mahama went to China recently, he also talked about what they want to do to help with the African movement protocol.
Yeah.
Yes. And though here we are talking about the 200 visa fee on arrival, but I think that the government should also do its best to also ratify it in Ghana, the Free African Movement Protocol,
Yeah.
so that it would help the whole of Ghana and also help the Pan African agenda. I hope the government would receive our petition warmly and also do something about it. Yeah. So I'm Nana Yeboah Kwankweku, and I'm an African, not because I was born in Africa, but because Africa was born through me. Thank you very much.
Great, 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 great. So yeah, so Nana said it all. We've had a very interesting conversation about the future of the policy, what the direction should be for the policy. Ghana has been positioned as the gateway to Africa and one of the leaders in the Pan African conversation. And to reflect that, it's important the policies that we take internally are geared towards ensuring that this place becomes the hub for Pan Africanism, Pan African agenda, mutual belonging for Pan African citizens across the world, not just Africans living on the continent. And if these barriers exist, it's going to be difficult for us to realize Kwame Nkrumah's dream. And he said it all. He's mentioned that the economic benefits that exist far outweigh the ones that we are reaping if we decide to, because it transcends just taking $200. If we eradicate it, it means more trade, the ease of doing business, more people come into the country, tourists, there's a boost in tourism, etc., etc. The benefits are huge for the nation. And it's important that we take a very critical look at it. A coalition of Pan-African organizations like Economic Fighters League, Africans Rising have started. I don't know if you've seen it. They've started efforts to start a campaign for the eradication of the. I've seen a petition online, so
Yeah, I've also
yeah,
seen it.
would drop the link in the YouTube description. If you agree with the sentiments that we've shared on the show, you can sign the petition and also do your best to spread the word about the campaign. My name has always been Moses Desire Kuyo, an African citizen living in Ghana and a staunch advocate for the Pan African agenda. So we'll meet on the next episode because this is not a one off. We're going to be doing a lot more episodes to talk about it, a lot of issues that relate to African continent. But till we meet on the next episode, you should always remember that come with me, Africa must unite. Thank you. Welcome to Context Africa.